Hello friends, in today's lecture we will be understanding logical Venn diagrams part 1 type 2. Students, we have already seen the type 1 problems. Now it's the time for type 2 problems. So let us begin with it. Now the definition of logical Venn diagram type 2 says that in this type of questions generally a Venn diagram is given. Each geometrical figure in the diagram represents a certain class. The candidate is required to study and analyze the figure carefully and then answer the certain questions regarding the given data. So let us begin with the MCQs. Now students, the first MCQ says that study the figure and answer the questions. So students, यहाँ पे हमें चार फिगर्स दिए गए हैं. एक है स्क्वायर, एक है ओवल, थर्ड है ट्राइंगल एंड फोर्थ है हेक्सागन. तो चलिए देखते हैं लोग क्या पूछ रहे हैं. द फर्स्ट वन इज आस्किंग विच नंबर बिलोंग्स टू ऑल द फिगर्स. तो यहाँ पे चार डायग्राम्स दिए गए हैं और उसमें कुछ नंबर्स दिए गए हैं. तो फर्स्ट एमसीक्यू इज आस्किंग यू दैट विच नंबर बिलोंग्स टू ऑल द फिगर्स. तो स्टूडेंट्स, अगर हम ध्यान से देखें तो यहाँ पे मुझे कोई भी नंबर जो है वो चारों फिगर्स या चारों डायग्राम्स में एक साथ आते हुए नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है. So the answer to this question will be none of these. Now let us look at the second MCQ. It says, what is the sum of the numbers which belongs to two figures only? तो यहाँ पे हमें कुछ numbers देखने हैं, उनका addition करना है. और कौन से numbers का addition करना है? वो numbers जो दो diagrams में या दो shapes में common आ रहे हैं. So it should be 2 and only 2. If it is intersecting at the third also, that will not be allowed. So let us see. So now students, अगर मैं देखूं स्क्वायर को एंड ओवल को, तो यहाँ पे मुझे दो नंबर्स दिख रहे हैं विच इज 4 and 2. उसमें एक नंबर 3 भी आ रहा है, बट वो नंबर 3 जो है वो ट्राइंगल के साथ भी इंटरसेक्ट कर रहा है. So as we said, the intersection should be only in two figures. The next one is triangle and oval. In triangle and oval, I am having just one number, which is number 6. Now, the next figure is hexagon and oval. Hexagon and oval में एक number आ रहा है जो common है, which is 8. So what have they asked us for? They have asked us for what is the sum of the numbers which belongs to two figures only. So I have to add all these numbers, which will be 2, 4, 6 and 8. So I know that 4 plus 2 is giving me 6, 6 plus 6 is giving me 12 and 12 plus 8 is giving me 20. So if we add all the numbers, we get the answer to be as 20, which is option C. The third MCQ says, what is the product of the numbers which belongs to three figures only? So we have to find out the numbers which is belonging to three only figures. So let us find it out. So now students, if we look at the square, triangle and the oval, I am having one number which is common, which is 3. I am also having a number 9 which is common to triangle, oval and hexagon. So what have they asked us for? They have asked us for the product of these two numbers. So if I do 3 multiplied by 9, I get the answer to be as 27. Hence, the answer will be option A, which is 27. Now let us look at the next MCQ. It says, what is the product of the numbers which belong to two figures only? Now students, we had already seen the numbers which were common to two figures, which were 2, 4, 6 and 8. In the second question, we had done the addition. Now in this question, we have to do the multiplication. So I have to do 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 6 and multiplied by 8. So if I do this, I get the answer to be as 384. Hence, the answer to this question will be option C, which is 384. Now let us see the next MCQ. It says that in the following diagrams, three classes of populations are represented by three figures. The triangle represents the school teachers, the square represents married persons, and the circle represents the person living in joint families. So first thing what we are doing is we will name all the figures. We have been given a circle, a triangle and a square. So it says that the triangle represents the school teachers. The next is the square represents the married persons. स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पे मैं शॉर्ट फॉर्म लिख रहा हूँ, मैं स्कूल टीचर्स को ST लिख रहा हूँ एंड मैरिड पीपल को मैं MP लिख रहा हूँ. Then it says that the circle represents the people living in joint families. So I will write it down as joint families or JF. So now let us look at the MCQs. It says the married persons living in joint families but not working as school teachers are represented by. Now let me break down the question. It says married people living in joint families. Now I know that married people is represented by square and joint families is represented by circle. So I have to see the common portion between them. If I look at the common portion in between them, it is letters D and B. Now if I say D and B, they are nothing but the common people, but not working as school teachers. Now I know that school teachers are represented by triangles. Now if I look at the letter B, it is common to all three. It is common to the circle, triangle as well as the square. But if I look at the letter D, it is not common to the triangle. So this will be the answer to our question, which is D. The capital letter D is nothing but the people who are married people. They are living in joint families and also they are not working as school teachers. So the answer to this question will be option C, which is capital letter D. Now let us look at the next MCQ. It says persons who live in joint families are unmarried and those who do not work as school teachers. So as usual, we break the problem. They are saying the persons who live in joint families. Now in joint families, I am having three letters, which is E, D and B. Now unmarried people are those people who will not come in the square. So I am having D, B, C and A who are married people. But when I look at the unmarried people, they will not be inside the square. They will be outside the square. That is, they will be either in the circle or they will either be in the triangle. So as of now, I can just say the answer to this question is capital letter C. So I can say that the answer to this question will be capital letter E. Why? Because it is outside the square. So the answer will be capital letter E or option C. Now let us look at the third MCQ. It says married teachers living in joint families are represented by. First thing we see the married people. Now married people are represented by D, B, C and A. But I need teachers. Teachers is represented by the triangle. So as of now, I can just say I am having B and C. Which are those people? Those are the people who are in triangle as well as square. That is, they are nothing but married teachers. Next, they are saying married teachers living in joint families. Now joint families is represented by a circle. So now I am just having capital letter B, which is common to the married people as well as the circle. So the answer to this question will be capital letter B or option B. Now let us look at the next MCQ. It says school teachers who are married but do not live in joint families are represented by. First thing, we know that school teachers. School teachers are represented by a triangle. So in a triangle, I'm having three letters. Which are those three letters? They are B, F, and C. Now they want school teachers who are married. Now if I talk about married, I'm just having B and I'm having C. So B and C. Next, who do not live in joint families. Now joint families is represented by a circle. Circle, inside the circle I am having B. So do I want B? I have to discard B. Why? Because I do not need such kind of teachers who are living in joint families. So I will take the capital letter C as my answer. Moving on to the main next MCQ. It says, in the following diagram, square represents girls. I'll just write it down as it is. Square is representing girls. Circle represents tall people. Triangle is for tennis players. And rectangle stands for swimmers. So now let us look at the MCQs. It says, which letter represents tall girls who are swimmers but don't play tennis? Now as usual, we break the question. It says, which letter represents tall girls? Now I am having girls and I am having tall. Now if I look at tall as well as girls, let me find out the alphabets. So I have to look at the square portion and I have to look at the circle portion and the letters which are intersecting in them. So if I look at them, I have D, C, G and H. These are nothing but the tall girls. Next, who are swimmers? Now swimmers is represented by a rectangle. So if I take the rectangle part, I will just have G and H. So in short, I am considering the square, the rectangle and the circle. I need the alphabets which are common to all these three portions. So automatically I will discard D and C. So I am left with G and H. Now they need all these people but don't play tennis. Now tennis is represented by a triangle. Now I am left with G and H. But I need the people who don't play tennis. If I don't play tennis, it is represented by capital letter G. So automatically I discard H. Now G are the people who are tall girls. They are also swimmers, but they don't play tennis. So I can say G is the right answer. So if I find out, I will see option C as the right answer, which is consisting of capital letter G. Now let us look at the next one. It says, which letter represents girls who are swimmers, who play tennis but are not tall? First thing, we go for the girls. Now girls are having E, B, C, D, F, G, H. Now let us see the swimmers. I am having swimmers as D, C, G and H. Next I need who play tennis. Tennis is represented by a triangle. So if I go for that part, I will go for C and H. So automatically I have to cancel D and I have to cancel G. Next one is saying but are not tall. Now tall is represented by what? Tall is represented by a circle. So let us find it out. Now if I look at the options, I am having none of these. If you look carefully, it is C and H. Now C and H is coming inside the circle, but they need the people who are not inside the circle. So do we have any such letter? No, we do not have any such letter. So the answer to this question will be none of these or option D. Now let us look at the third one. It says which letter represents tall girls who do not play tennis and are not swimmers. So let us check it out. Now let us go for tall girls first. Tall girls are consisting of D, C, G and H. Next, I need those players who do not play tennis. Now, let us go for the letters which represent tall girls who do not play tennis. Now, who do not play tennis, if I see, they are nothing but D and G. So, I will automatically strike out C and H. And are not swimmers. Now, swimmers is represented by a rectangle. So, if I look at D and G, I need all those people who are not swimmers. So I can definitely say that the capital letter D are those numbers who are tall girls who do not play tennis and are not swimmers, because it is not coming inside the rectangle. So the answer to this question will be capital letter D. And that is option B. Now the next one, it says which letter represents tall persons who are gents and are swimmers but do not play tennis. So let us find out the answer to this question. So now the first part, tall persons who are gents, they are nothing but now the next one says the tall persons who are gents and swimmers. So now let us find it out. So as per this, we should take all the options which are having the rectangles too. So if I talk about a rectangle and if I see all these letters, I will get the answer to be as capital letter K. So K is one kind of a person which represents tall persons who are gents and are swimmers but do not play tennis. So the answer to this question will be option C. Now let us look at the next MCQ. It says a rectangle represents government employees. A triangle represents urban people. The circle represents graduates, whereas the squares represent clerks. So, which of the statements is true? The first one says all government employees are clerks. We know that the government employees is represented by a rectangle, whereas clerks are represented by a square. Now students, can we say that all the government employees here are clerks? If I look at the number 1, it is not inside the square but it is only inside the rectangle. So I can say that option A is wrong. Second one, some government employees are graduates as well as clerks. Now if I talk about some government employees is from number 1, 2, 7 and 6. These are the numbers which are inside the rectangle. Now these are graduates. Now graduates is nothing but inside the circle. So if I look at the circle, I will have number 6 which is inside the rectangle as well as inside the circle. Now is number 6 inside the square? I can definitely say that number 6 is inside the square, whereas it is inside the circle and also inside the rectangle. So I can say that some government employees are graduates as well as clerks. So the answer to this question will be option B. If you want to verify, you can go for option C and option D and you will find out that option D and option C are wrong. Now let us go for the next MCQ. It says which of the statements is true? Urban people are graduates. Now if I look at the urban people, it is inside the triangle. And graduates are inside the circle. So let us find it out. Now if I see option 1, which is all urban people are graduates, so I need all the numbers which are inside the triangle should be inside the circle as well. So is this happening? If you closely look at it, you will find out that the numbers which are inside the triangle, all of those numbers are not inside the circle. So I discard option A. Next one says, some clerks are government employees but not urban. Now some clerks is represented by a square. Let me write down first. If I go for the clerks, I am having numbers 7, 6, 8 and 11. Now are all of these government employees? If I talk about government employees, they are represented by a rectangle. So are some of them inside the rectangle? Is 7, 6, 8 and 11, are some numbers out of this, are they inside the rectangle? I can definitely say that number 7 and 6 are inside the rectangle. Now the third condition, but are not urban. Now urban is represented by a triangle, but 7 and 6 is coming inside the triangle. So can I take 7 and 6? No, I cannot take. Hence again option B is wrong. Now student, if you look at option C, you will again find out that the answer will be wrong. So let me see option D. It says that some urban people are not graduates. Now if we look at urban people is represented by 3, 2, 5, 7, 6, 9, 8, 11 and 4. Now I need these numbers which should be inside the triangle. They are definitely inside the triangle and are not graduates. Now I know that graduates is represented by a circle. Now I need some numbers which are inside the triangle but which are not inside the circle. So I can definitely say that answer to this question will be option 4. Because if you look at the numbers 2, 7, 8 and 6, they are outside the circle but they are inside the triangle. So option 4 will be the right answer. Next is choose the correct statements. Some clerks are government employees. Now we can see that some clerks, now if we talk about clerks, they are inside the square. And are some clerks government employees? If you look at numbers 7 and 6, they are inside the square, they are as well as inside the rectangle. Now if you look at option B, C and D, you can definitely say that options are wrong. So from this I can say that option 1 or option A is the right answer, which is some clerks are government employees. If we look carefully, we can understand that the numbers 7 and 6, they are the numbers which are in the government employees as well as they are in the clerks. So we can definitely say that option 1 is the right answer. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned to Informatica and do subscribe our channel.